What's going on, guys? Anthony here for Football Worldwide. Just feeling like having a little bit of a chat about Serie B and the club that I follow in Serie B, Palermo. Now, if anyone follows me closely, we didn't do much of it, but my friend Mario Galliano and I, we started doing a couple of Palermo pods, but we just ran out of time to tee up this year. It's been absolutely awful. But long story short, for anyone that follows Serie B will know it's a very competitive tournament. Very, very competitive. The gap between sides is not big, whether it's a title chase, promotional chase, the top six sides, which will, the third to sixth will eventually play off for the final spot in promotion. Basically how it works in Serie B is that the first and second ranked side will go up to Serie A, the top division. If the team coming third has more than a 10-point lead on the team coming fourth, that team who finishes third will receive automatic promotion. That is rarely the case, and similarly to this season, it will not be the case unless the side coming third, who I actually can't remember who it is, it might be Genoa or Frosinone. I think that side will still have to stay in a playoff position as the third ranked side, because there won't be a 10-point gap to fourth. So that brings me to my team, Palermo, who are currently sitting around 10th or 11th. On the ladder, they are 9 points clear of the relegation zone. It is match day 34. We have 4 games left, 35, 36, 37, 38, which means Palermo is 1 win away from safety. They are 1 win away from having a back-to-back season in Serie B after being promoted just at the end of last season. Okay? So following their bankruptcy and their capitulation on and off the pitch, Palermo are looking at back-to-back seasons in Serie B. Now, that's not to say that it's completely over for them to try and get to Serie A, because they're only -4 from the playoff spots. That's 6th position. So if they could somehow sneak their way into 6th, they might genuinely fancy themselves in a knockout 2-legged tie against 3rd, and then again after that against the winner of 4th versus 5th. But despite the playoff spots being doable, it's tough. Too many draws. Home losses to Sudiro, Venezia, I remember. But they're not as bad as the copious amounts of draws. So many draws, so many 1-1s, so many 0-0s, so many stagnated games decided by penalties, a lot of red cards. I think Palermo had like 3 red cards in the first 6 games of the season or something like that. The main man up top, Brunori, has 15 goals, something like 3 or 4 assists. I know he's got something like 17 to 18 GAs, goal and assist contributions. Di Mariano and Soleri are the other 2 attackers that contribute mostly. They've got about 3 or 4 goals apiece. I know, what's his name? Is it Valerta? I forget his name now. He's got about 5 or 6 assists as well. So while it hasn't been a full-blown, massive success of a season, especially when you take into account that, Eugenio Corini, the manager, has pretty much had to rely on Brunori carrying them through this tournament. It would not surprise me whatsoever to see a mid-table to relegation Serie A side take him next season. He will probably leave. With the money that they get for Brunori, Palermo need to reinvest properly in positions that need reinforcing. I suggest to start in the centre-back position, in the full-back position, and possibly the defensive mid as well. The objective for Palermo was to always stay into Serie B going into next season, and I believe that this is the best result. I do not believe that a miracle progression to Serie A is right or is on the cards. There are certain ways that clubs progress and certain ways that clubs ride their luck and fall. I believe that Palermo sneaking a miracle spot in Serie A is not going to do any good for them long term. I believe another season in Serie B, building a competitive squad, winning more matches, building confidence, cohesion, and allowing the structure of the club to continue to gain traction in an otherwise more quiet environment, being in Serie B than in the limelight of top division. We all need to remember that they've got some money behind them. They've got the backing of the City Group. So unless there's some sort of ridiculous expectation from them that they need to play top division next season, which I don't think there is, I think that they'll be more than happy to take a season in Serie B with the objective being automatic promotion, bare minimum top 6 finish to go to the playoffs for Serie A. You need to do that. Or at the very least, if you can't score a top 2 spot, you need to keep it so tight to the point where you will play playoffs. That's all. That's all I wanted to say. Just wanted to talk about Palermo for a second. Like and subscribe. Ciao.